shares, debentures, and so forth, as may be covered by the Companies Act. However, the classes of assets that the bill necessarily has to protect is much wider than just the incorporeal nature of shares, debentures, and other like securities. There's other assets that the bill also protects. So in the formulation of the language contained in the definition of investment, we've been sensitive to recognize the fact that the bill covers more than just incorporeal property. It covers other types of property outside of what may be called securities. So perhaps in a later discussion, we can go into the merits and demerits of that approach. Also, Madam Chair, there was a question whether or not we should reintroduce language that we previously had in the previous iteration of the bill. Of course, Madam Chair, this debate is subject, of course, to the process which is ongoing in Parliament, can be relooked, because what is currently contained in the bill is essentially an enterprise model with limited reference to certain assets that may be covered. If we wanted a more complete list of assets, we could do that, but merely in an illustrative way, so that if we talk about an instrument of ownership, we could mention the various classes of assets more specifically. That would not be an issue, but this list would not be exhaustive. It would not be closed, which means that if we leave out anything, then of course, as long as the asset complies with the description contained in the definition, we are able to address that particular point. So ultimately, we believe that there is some scope for further discussion in terms of perhaps including such a list for purposes of discussion. Madam Chair, also we received submissions specifically from Anglo American in respect of our regional obligations. As the DDG and both the DG has indicated, South Africa, of course, complies with its international law obligations. And of course, when stakeholders mention that the SADC Finance and Investment Protocol, and more specifically Annex 1, which deals with investment protection, contain clauses